Have you ever wondered why every time you start eating healthy, it doesn't stick for longer than a month, a week, or even a day? Well, by the end of this video, you are going to know exactly what you need to do to start eating healthier and stick to it. Many blame themselves for not being able to maintain healthy eating habits, but what if I told you that this isn't your fault? It's not because you don't try, it's not because you don't set goals, and it's not because you don't want it bad enough. In fact, you are probably doing all three of these things, and I'm more than willing to bet that you are feeling frustrated right now because despite your best efforts, healthy eating feels hard and it's just not something that you've been able to keep up with. Instead, the reasons are that you don't have the right systems in place and that you are following an all or nothing approach. So I am going to show you how to correct that and make healthy eating unbelievably easy. This will become a habit for you and something that you automatically do year-round, and it won't be just another resolution that you make on New Year's Day. And be sure to stay till the end of the video to find out how long it takes to make healthy eating a habit. So first off, you need to create an environment for yourself where healthy eating is the obvious choice. The less that you have to think about whether or not to make healthy eating choices, the better. Additionally, your brain is constantly trying to figure out answers to the problems that it encounters, and it wants to experience immediate pleasure and avoid immediate pain. It is also looking for what is the easiest way to solve the problem that it is facing. For example, let's talk about lunch. The best thing to do is to pack your lunch and your family's lunch the night before. This way you can just grab and go the next morning, which is quick and easy, and then come lunchtime, the obvious decision is to eat the food that you brought from home. The morning of can be stressful, and when you are running late, which inevitably happens, your brain wants to solve the problem of what am I going to eat for lunch, easy and quick. So instead of prepping a healthy lunch, you're going to grab something quick like a frozen food meal or resolve to going out to eat. So an easy way to make this a habit is to include it in your evening routine and to do it right after an already established habit. If you already make dinner each night, then right after you make dinner, go ahead and prep lunch. Another way to make healthy eating obvious is to design your environment so that it is easy for you to make healthy food choices. For example, when you walk into the kitchen, instead of leaving a bag of potato chips on the counter, have a bowl filled with some pre-washed fruit instead. When you walk in, you'll pick up an apple, a pear, or a banana solely based on the fact that it is the easier choice. In the fridge and pantry, make whatever is at eye level the healthy options. Grocery stores do this all the time, but in the opposite direction. Next time you go, look in the aisles and you will see that the unhealthy options are usually at eye level and the more healthy options are usually above or below that. And you really have to try and find them. So with the unhealthy food options being at eye level, they are automatically the easier choice to make because your brain doesn't have to go and find it. It's just right there. So use that same principle and make sure to organize your kitchen the same way, but with the healthy foods. Another example is to leave out the foods and the kitchen tools that you need to cue your brain that it's time to make dinner. This could be leaving your frying pan or pot on the stove, an oil dispenser bottle next to the stove, a cutting board on the counter, and a set of knives next to the cutting board. You can also leave your recipe book holder on the counter as well with a list of what meals that you are making that week. So by setting up your environment this way, you are making it obvious to your brain that your kitchen is ready to cook healthy meals and for you to eat healthy foods. Now, controlling your environment is important, but it is not nearly as important as actually enjoying the healthy foods that you eat. Again, your brain wants to experience pleasure and avoid pain. A couple of ways that you can do this include always start the day with a clean kitchen. It is so much more fun to cook and bake in a kitchen that is clean and organized. So this means cleaning and tidying up the night before. I like to keep my all-purpose cleaning spray on the counter by the sink to remind myself to do this. When decorating your kitchen, it doesn't have to be much, but you can put out some cute dish towels, an apron, maybe some artwork or decor pieces on a floating shelf. You can also have a diffuser running with a pretty scent and leave the light on to set the mood and make it feel extra cozy and inviting. Another thing that you can do is wear clothes that make you feel good. The expression is look good, feel good, do good. So you can dress up or you can put on some comfy clothes that make you feel cozy and relaxed, whatever you want. You can set the table and make it look nice with a tablecloth, placemats, napkins, nice dishes and glasses. If you have a dining room that you only use for special occasions and holidays, then you could even just start eating in there. You can also pair it with an activity that you really want to do. So for example, you can invite friends or family over, or you can put on a movie that you've been wanting to see, or even listen to a podcast. You can gain inspiration for all of this by looking at Pinterest, YouTube videos, food blogs, cookbooks, and even in-person or online community groups. And maybe there is even a cooking class in your area that you can take and meet new people. So by doing all of these things, you are romanticizing the experience of eating healthy foods, and in your brain, you are associating them with joy, which increases the likelihood of you cooking and eating them again. Hey guys, I just want to take a quick moment to ask if you are subscribed to my channel yet. If not, please go ahead and click that subscribe button. I am on a mission to help you improve your health, and I would love to have you part of my community. Also, if you are looking for simple, easy to make healthy recipes, check out my cookbook. It contains some of my most popular recipes and a few new ones that I have never shared on my channel before. You can grab it on Amazon, and the link is always in the description box. So thank you, and now back to the video. Now, setting up our environment to make healthy choices and actually enjoy eating healthy foods are both important, but if this feels hard to do, then your brain is still going to look for an easy alternative, whether it's healthy or not. So now we have to make sure to make healthy eating easy to do. Since we know that the brain wants to find answers to the problems it faces and ultimately wants to get a solution easily and quickly, we can leverage this to our advantage. So we can set up our environment in such a way that makes healthy eating easy and automatic. Something to note about the brain is that it can't focus on everything all at the same time. So for example, when you are in the car going to work, you might be listening to music or maybe talking on the phone, and you're not so focused on what turns you need to make in order to get where you need to go because your brain just knows them all already. You drive that same route 5 days a week and you do it almost automatically and out of habit. Now, on the flip side, let's say that you are going to a brand new place. You're going to need to be more focused on where you're going since you have never been there before. So the music is either low or completely turned off. And if you've got people in the car with you, you might even ask them to be quiet so that you can focus. But if you continue to keep driving back there, the drive will become easier over time and more automatic. So that's exactly what we're doing here with healthy eating. In the beginning, you're going to spend more time focusing on what you need to do, like what foods to buy and learning how to cook new recipes and to meal prep. But then as you continue to do it, it will become automatic and a habit. So some examples include either buying pre-cut fruit and vegetables or washing and prepping them right after you get home from the grocery store. So you can wash and chop strawberries and celery and then store them in the fridge, and you can wash apples and leave them on the counter. Then when you're hungry later on, you can quickly grab and eat. You're more likely to eat them if the prep work is already done. Another thing you can do is meal plan and meal prep, and this can make figuring out what to make for dinner each night easier. You can make one pan and one pot meals for easy cleanup. You can use kitchen appliances and gadgets to help make cooking easier. Personally, I love using my stand mixer to help me knead bread doughs, an immersion blender to make sauces and soups, a rice cooker to make rice, and an oil dispenser while sauteing. Without them, I have to knead dough by hand for 10 to 20 minutes, transfer soups into a food processor to blend, which I tried once before and it did not work out well. There's actually a really funny short on my channel that you can go and search for. I am not linking that one, but you can go and look at it and it's quite funny. But it shows you that an immersion blender would be a great fix in that situation. Without the rice cooker, I have to stand by the stove and keep a close eye on the rice so that it doesn't burn. And without an oil dispenser, I have to pour oil out of the oil container, which is hard to control. So ultimately, you can avoid many struggles by setting yourself up so that cooking and eating healthy foods is easy. Also, a big thing is making simple food swaps and substitutions that increase the nutrition of the food itself and to stock them in your kitchen. So for example, if you love ketchup, then instead of cutting it out of your daily diet, you can instead just swap it out with a no sugar added alternative. Instead of cutting out mayo, you can swap it out for one made with avocado oil instead of a vegetable seed oil. You can buy these or make them at home from scratch. Ultimately, there are a lot of simple food swaps and substitutions that you can make, and these little eating changes are easy to make because you aren't actually changing your eating habits. You're just making the foods involved more nutritious. Now, above all, in order to make healthy eating a habit, the foods and the experience of eating needs to be satisfying. You can make healthy eating obvious, enjoyable, and easy, but without also making it satisfying, it will not be repeated, and therefore it will not become a habit. A key part of forming a new habit is to make it rewarding. When this happens, the levels of dopamine in the brain increase. Dopamine is known as the reward chemical, and it encourages us to repeat the behaviors that will once again trigger its release. So if you are going to make healthy eating a habit, then you have got to make it satisfying. So here are some ways to help you do that. Use spices, herbs, and citrus fruits in your cooking. Spices like garlic powder, herbs like oregano and rosemary, and citrus fruits like lemon juice will add tremendous flavor along with nutrients to your meals. And tasty food is satisfying. Next, you can notice how your body feels after you're done eating. When you eat healthy foods, you're going to have more energy and less jitters. You're going to have clearer thinking and less brain fog. Your skin is going to look better and it's not going to break out as bad as usual. And your digestion is going to feel better as well, and you're not going to feel quite so bloated. So you guys get the point. What you want to do is link up healthy eating with feeling good in your mind. And when you think of healthy eating, you immediately think of feeling good. Next, you want to satisfy your cravings in a healthy way. So whether that be salty, crunchy, sweet, creamy, carbs, fats, or protein. This is important because if you deny your cravings, your brain feels deprived, which is painful. And remember, the brain doesn't want to feel pain. Plus, something that most don't realize is that a lot of times your cravings are because your body is needing some sort of nutrient. So don't ignore them. They could be a warning sign that something is off balance and that it needs a nutrient. Now, does that mean, for example, that you should stop off at a drive-thru every day after work to get French fries just because you're craving them? No. But you can totally make oven roasted potato fries at home using a real potato, salt, and pepper. If you really love the carbonated soda feeling in your mouth, then you can have seltzer instead. So by doing these things, you are satisfying your cravings in a healthy way. Another thing that you can do is have bowls and plates on hand that will provide healthy portion sizes. This is really helpful if you struggle with overeating because having a full plate and finishing it is very satisfying. Now, I'm not saying that you should eat from extremely small dishes, but this is helpful if you routinely eat from the main serving dish or if you have very large bowls and plates. I think that it is also helpful to just remember to say thank you to yourself whenever possible for putting in the time and effort into making meals and meal prepping. And if you are with family and friends, then try to eat your meals together, even if it's just one meal in the day. Food doesn't just provide the body with nutrients, it also brings people together, and having a community around us gives us enjoyment too. And it makes healthy eating more satisfying. So to sum all that up, in order to make healthy eating a habit, you need to focus on making small improvements in what foods you eat and also create systems and an environment in your life that encourages healthy eating without you having to put forth so much mental focus towards it every single day. You'll find that making little changes in multiple areas of your life will feel so small by themselves, but when you add them all up, you will see big improvements in your health. And you will also find that your environment plays a big role in making healthy eating easy. When you see people who eat healthy on a regular basis, it's not because they are magically immune to food temptations or have rock solid self-control. It's because they have created an environment and created systems for themselves that naturally point them in the right direction. And whenever they get off track, it's easy to get back on track because these systems are already set up. Now, as to how long it takes to create a new habit, many think that it's based on a certain amount of time when really it is about frequency and consistency. Eating healthy once a week for 30 days isn't going to be nearly as effective as eating healthy daily for 30 days. So if you really want to make healthy eating a habit, then you need to eat healthy foods consistently. You don't need to be perfect with it. Balance in what we eat is important, but to make healthy eating a habit, you do need to eat healthy foods the majority of the time. Okay, so that is how you make healthy eating unbelievably easy. If you need help figuring out how to meal prep and plan healthy, tasty meals, then click on this video right here for my best tips and tricks. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching, and as always, stay well, my friends.